There we go. Right. I want to put the link in the Discord. Alright, let's get some. Let's reduce the quality so it doesn't lag on stream. And let's get some work done. I'm glad Lo-Fi's back. I'm so sad it disappeared for a couple of days. YouTube being YouTube made it disappear. Simpsons Kitchen. See, we got like some decent ones like this to help us get spacing and stuff. But then I want to get like ones like this. Like I want the fridge. I think I want to do the fridge right now. Oh, that's a... Oh my god, Homer. Oh, I remember that episode. I've always wanted to do that. When it's like really hot weather, just put like a tent or something on it. Just a little bit more. Oh my god, there you go. Oh yeah, maybe that's too much. I split better. And I also want to shift it. Wait, other way. Boom, now more center of frame. That's a pretty good shot. Is that that's moves? Oh my god. You know, it's... I don't know if it's just an England thing or a British thing, sorry. But we don't... Or maybe this isn't even a thing in America. Our freezers are never at the top. I actually thought there'd be like a... I mean, I could always get a picture of a real fridge. Fridge with freezer on top. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty plain looking thing. So, go over here. And as always, model it. I like modeling away from the scene and then putting in the scene and scaling it afterwards. I don't know why. I don't remember how much I did that with this scene specifically, but I did it quite often. Let's just do the front two doors first. If we got like an actual front view, I could just use that as an image and then reference the scale. Might not be accurate still, but why are all these gifts? I'm so congested lately. That's a lot of food. There's really not any front shots or any decent ones of it. There's like this one. It's not brilliant. It's not bad though. Oh, what if it's supposed to have like one of those, you know, those bits where you get in it like this? Probably too thick. Do this. Oh, how come I did not do this? Actually, the bottom doesn't have a cat. The top does, though. A small one. Kind of like this. And more like this. See, it's like part imagination, which I suck at. Because I could, like I said, I could just get a real fridge freezer up, but I don't know why I just didn't spawn a cube in. It'd been quicker. That's fine. Bottom comes up a bit earlier than I mean, there's nothing actually here yet, but it does sound like this, and there actually is a little curve on it, like that. Now, I think I want to bevel around the whole thing as well. Like this. Is that too much? Angle's causing issues. Just check if a weighted normal will fix it. There you go. Oh, we can do a bevel around these two if we really want. That? Yeah, I guess that's right. Oh, what is happening there? What the heck? Is it doing this side too? What? That's weird, right? I mean, that's a better result just there. Boom, 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 boom. Huh? Does it do if I do this? No, that's fine. We're not too fast with the poly count because we are using UE5, so if it's super high poly, we just nanites it. Cool. So I essentially want let's hide everything with that. Similar thing to this, turn it upside down. Pull you up a little bit from here. Grab you, pull you down. Right here, and then that's going to be like that. And that's the front of the fridge. No, it's not. It's just like this. Again, that's the front of the fridge. We then have basically... Yeah. Shape like this. So the door seems to be taller than the actual fridge. It's got to be something like this. And then this part comes down to here. It's got like a grate thing at here, which you can just stick on. I kind of want it to be level with that, at least roughly. There you go. And it needs to be almost as wide as it, but just off a tiny bit, like probably that. Cool. Now the thickness I'm not sure about. We could just do this for now. Could always adjust it later. What I should do is basically this. I could just keep it in the middle if I really want. And then get the lines in here, like this. Do the same here. Oh, actually, I really should center this to make it so I don't have problems. Wait, why is that still beveled? Why is that still extruded? There you go. Pull that up to here, so that could be used as a center point as we get this detachment here. Bring this in as well. Make it so it's level with this one. So if we just snap and go boom, boom like that. Grab you, pull you. Wait, hold on a minute. Wait, what? Oh, I put it on the back. Wow. Well, that's what happens when you got X-ray on. Okay, grab the front. Pull that in. It's online. Grab both. There you go, pull that in without snapping it. Cool. Now, I'm probably not going to open the fridge, so we don't need to do much more than this, except the detailing now around the thing. Like, we're going to want, if I just do a normal bevel, we're going to want beveled edges across the entire thing. Oh, I can't bevel it any more than that. What's that? Ah, maybe I should pull these in a tad. There you go. And possibly even do a little bit of that. And this actually needs to be higher anyway because we got a little gap at the bottom when there's nothing there. Cool. Sweet. Let's get some handles in. The cylinder instead. You should always try to get the shape that's closest going to resemble the final shape. I like working with cubes a lot, so that doesn't, I don't always keep that truth. Handle like, oh, because it pulls the door open. That's so weird. It like comes over, hooks there, comes around and hooks there. Like, that's weird, right? I feel like that's not, well, it's not a normal fridge, let's be honest, but nothing in the Simpsons is that normal, but still, it's a very odd way to do it. Cool, let's just move there. Now, I think I do want to use a cube because I want to subdivide because we're going to have it moving. So if I... There we go. To active? Yeah. Then we do a cube in here. Cool. The reason I kind of want to do this is because then when I go to, so watch, when I pull this around here like this and then do whatever we want to do here, right? I can then just smooth it. Then we got this little hook. We could delete a couple of these. The question is, do I want it to be janky like this? Or do I want it to be very formal? Like very, you know what I mean? I'm not sure. It's definitely a hard question. I mean, if we try that, we could do a couple different ways. Oh, wrong one. Maybe slightly raise it. Oh, do that. There you go. Something more like this. And if we don't want to do this, we've just got a choice of doing this, make it curve a bit more. Or I always forget how to do perfect curves with Blender as well, which doesn't help. Hold on a minute, how did that just move? That should be aligned with this. There you go. Alright, yeah, the other way is basically... Wait, that doesn't look right, because the other way around, right? No, that's not right. I mean, I might just leave it like that. I don't think that's a bad way to do it. As for some reason, can't. What happens when I do 3D all week? My brain just goes so like numb to this stuff. Like I could, yeah, snap it here, grab these, merge distance. Really? They're not close enough together to merge the distance. Yeah, but it does that now. Like that. See, that's not a bad way anyway. Have like that curve instead. So basically keep what we left here. And then you can add some in like here. Here, whatever, to get your... That's probably the best way to do it. Put it up. Oh, put it down a little bit. Cool. This one goes to the side at the start. What's the best way to get to now go 90 degrees this way? I mean, it's got to be out a little bit more than that anyway. Yeah. What does this get stuck into? Should I have made like a... I guess I should make it slightly stick away and then you make like the foam bit or whatever. Right? I guess so. So one thing I like doing is when you make something, you tend to figure out as you're going where things are supposed to be, if you know what I mean. And it's just, it all starts coming together because you're like, oh, but how does this part work? And I think a good example of that was when I made the M4A1, which is on the bottom left corner now. That was perfect timing. I didn't realize until I was sort of breaking apart why it was there, and my dad kind of explained it to me. But M4A1. With an M4A1, there's a bit right here, right? It protrudes out of the geometry of the weapon. I didn't understand why it was there. And then my dad was like, when my dad looked at it, he went, well, it's possibly because when the chamber opens here and your cartridge flies out, it smacks that, so it doesn't smack you in the face. It just goes, hits that, and then bounces away. And yeah, that's what it is meant for. And I was like, and it's a cool discovery when you're making something without, it's not necessarily without reference, but you know what I mean. It's cool. You learn something. And don't we all like learning, right? Right, guys? We all like learning, right? This music sounds like a Hat in Time. I'm digging it. Why did I do it like that? Whatever. Cool. I got one over here. I put it just right in the middle, actually. Like that. Maybe that one. That's fine. Bring this around, and then dig this. Bring that around here, then dig this. Oh, actually. Yeah. Yeah, curves around like that. Looks fine. And that's just gonna, I'm just gonna have that pop into the geometry here. So now I need to make the geometry that's gonna go there, which is basically just gonna be, so you know, like when you see a fridge, you get like that rubbery bit. I was gonna say spongy bit then. So if we do something like this, oh, I thought that was central. It's not. Oh yeah, because it spawned over there earlier. Like this. Perfect. Like that. For those. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want an odd number. We'll get 7. That's not 7. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Scale. Scale a little bit this way. Scale a little bit this way, and then do a. Grab the corners, the edges of the corners. There you go. Bevel those. Hold on a minute. How did it apply the subdivide? Okay. Bevel those. That doesn't look like it's beveling correctly. Am I wrong? No, that's fine. And now do a subdivide. Do a scale first. That's better. Now do a subdivide, and we won't have the corner smooth over. Well, that'll give us something that looks more like this. So again, you know, like that little rubber bit you get in between the door and the actual thingy. And that's pretty good. Do I want it thicker? Something like this. We also need these faces. And if that's the case, you get the flat bits there, but I don't think we need this. I think we can just do something like this. We probably can get rid of this and this. Oops. Come on, this as well. Like that. Cool. Sweet. Put it down to here. Like this, pull that down. Cool. So we've got these rubber bits in here. Not sure. Oh. Got to be a little bit lower than that. Oh. Hold on a minute. That's a huge gap now, though. Am I still fine with that? Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Again, I'm not fussed with things being cartoonishly a bit too big because it is coming from a cartoon. So, you know, it's not. Oh, did I? Whoops! I didn't duplicate it apparently. No, this is the same here. Pull this up so we don't have that hand grip. Yeah, I think I give the hand grip a little too much space, but it's fine. Because inside the fridge freezer, you actually have like a little gap that does this. So this, and then this will come out. Or let's just do the bottom, for example. It's like this will like come out, so you get like that little ledge in it. I mean, you kind of do in some, you kind of don't in others. So, but again, we're probably not going to be opening. We just want some detailing on it to work with what we're doing. Cool. That one in, and we need to get the top one in. It does take up quite a lot in the image. I will leave that. I think we need this just there as well. Up as well. Cool. Just a bunch of squares, really. And then we want this, which does the exact same thing by the looks of it. So we just grab this, put it at the top, do a flip, like that. I want to pull it in a little bit more because it's quite tight. And there we go. Now it goes into there. Maybe I should actually be making it go into the thing. I mean, it depends what people are going to see. Hey, I don't know if you ever talked about it, but what are your views on NFTs? Oh, why do you want to know first? I'll give you my views, and I won't dodge the question, but what's the curiosity? Why do you want to know? Why do you want to know my opinions on it? Yeah, I think that works fine. Let's quickly do another mirror bit then for the bottom. Cool. This I've just got it sticking into it, so that's fine. I think that works fine. So yeah, we just got that and that. So you pull that and it opens it. Cool. Which means it opens from that angle, which I think is correct. Just grows you... No, some people hate it while a lot of creators are into them. I think the initial idea, well, I don't know if it was the initial idea, but the initial idea I heard people talk about was a really good concept of getting artists a way to share their work or to get money, sort of like a commission for their work in a digital way. I think was a pretty decent idea. Now, when broken down into brass tacks, at the end of the day, they can just get commission. I think overall the idea was there originally. I'll talk about how I feel about it now, but at the end of the day, artists get commission. You know, when an artist wants money and they're good at being an artist, you just hire them to do work. And I've heard a lot of artists have that same sentiment, because I'm not, you know, at the end of the day, I'm never going to sell an NFT anyway, because I'm not really a 2D digital artist, which is going to be the area where people excel more in making NFTs. I'm a 3D artist. Now, I can take certain pictures of my scene and convert it into an NFT, like some sort of angles and stuff, but overall, it's definitely something more dominated by a 2D digital artist standpoint, or in that area. So yeah, I personally think you could just commission someone. It feels like a very unnecessary thing because anytime I've ever seen any positive about NFTs being used for artists, it basically is like they're just talking about commission. It allows artists to do one, two, three, four, and those four things apply also to if they just did commissions. You know what I mean? If they just someone hired them to draw them something. Now, in the actuality of it, there's been lots of cases of laundering and stuff. And the thing is, things kind of like, I won't go into that actually, but things kind of exploded in the direction people weren't expecting, and things started getting value where they don't need it. Like, I know, true. I know the value in things come from what people value them at the end of the day. Like, you can give someone the most useless thing. You can find a rock and tell someone to convince someone this rock is one of a kind, because technically it is, you know, if you found it in a certain location and it's shaped in a specific way due to erosion of thousands of years or hundreds of thousands, millions of years, and you'll never get a rock this exact shape in this exact location made of the exact same rocks that's made of. You can convince them it's worth 10 million, and that's kind of what's happened with NFTs. Despite the use of them being completely pointless, people have been able to convince people they're worth way more than they are. Now, you can sit there and say, oh, but anyone's allowed to do that. But I'm a very strong believer that the value of things should be tied to something. That things shouldn't just have value for the sake of having value. At least, again, that's me. Not everyone feels that way, and that's fine. If you want to spend 10,000 pounds or a pair of shoes that have the same material and design as a pair of shoes that's 50 quid, that's your money. You can do what you want with that, as long as it's not affecting the business or other people in a negative way. Because I said the same thing about video games. Like, if you support a company on video games like that exploit their customers, you say, oh, but you don't have to care about it, they're not exploiting you. It'll encourage other companies to follow that trend and exploit you because they realize they can earn money from doing nothing. When Xbox had an online paid service, nobody kicked up a fuss about it except people on PlayStation. And then Sony went, well, Xbox getting all this free money for an online service when we giving it away for free. Let's start charging it when PS4 comes out, and boom. Now it's a company norm to charge for online services to play video games. So back to NFTs. Yeah, I think the value just don't reflect, these days anyway, the value of what it should be. I think things should have a value for a specific reason. And at the end of the day, an NFT's value will always just be a fabricated value. Because a lot of the time, the code you're given is just the code. Because that's what people don't realize. You're not owning a piece of art. I mean, in a way you are, but in actuality, you're owning a code associated with the art that is now considering it being the original art because you have that code that associates with it, despite being able to copy and paste that JPEG anywhere. So I know I've probably just talked a couple of people's ears off and they're like, Steve, you're not making any sense. But yeah, like, I'm not really for them at the end of the day. The idea, I think, was good, but when you really think about what they are, they hold zero value. All the value is fabricated. Like, because people try to compare it to a real-life painting. It's like, oh, but you'll pay someone to paint something for you. Yes, but I have a physical painting, and it's one of a kind. Someone can't just come into my house. Always love to hear you talk. Thank you, man. Someone can't just come into my house and click their finger and make a complete replication of this fabulous painting I have on the wall. That's not how real life works. But an NFT, they can do that because it's just an image. Right click. I know people have said this argument to death and people are sick of hearing it. But right click, copy, right click, paste. Boom. You've made an exact pixel to pixel replica of that painting, drawing, whatever you want to call it. But you can't do that in real life. So when people compare NFTs to a real life thing, I think that argument is completely null because it's just a different scenario. Don't get me wrong, people have sat me down and tried to convince me NFTs are worth more than I think they're worth. And, you know, I'm not saying they're wrong, it's just my opinion on it. But overall, I'm not a fan. Sorry, that was a long sidetrack. So we've got books up here, apparently. We've got some fridge magnets. What's the easiest way to make a heart? This is a good question. The easiest way is probably just to drag a heart in, outline it. But I feel like there's an easier way. So this part comes in, while these part come up like this. We get a smooth on it. And then these parts, well, there's probably one here. Well, actually, it kind of is that shape. It's a bit fatter though. More like this. This is definitely lower. These are definitely... That's fine. And then if we just click this, we'll get a 3D heart. And if we just do a bevel before the subdivide, woo! I feel like that's not done it the way I thought I was going to do it at all. Alright, I'll just do... Did I do it the wrong order? Maybe. I'll just do a manual bevel. Just leave that. Because if we do now, bevel would be a hard shape, and that's what fridge magnets usually are. They're usually a hard shape. Sometimes with a bevel around the edge, but something like this. Click apply to that. Pop that on the fridge. Cursor to active. Yep, perfect. Not quite where I want it to be, but it's close enough that I can just drag it back like this. And it's slightly in front. And that's brilliant. That is slightly in front. Nice. Then it's going to be holding up, apparently. One that shouldn't be getting held up. That should be falling down. It's not underneath the magnet. Or is it? No. That's not underneath the magnet. That's fine, though, because I'll just... Actually, what I'll do is I'll do a very slight... Let's make it so both of them can sit behind each other. I'll pull you out a tad, pull you back in. Maybe too much. I do think in general it's always very hard to say what art is, the value of art as a whole, because everyone's going to have a different opinion on what art is worth. So I'm going off on my rant again. Yeah, everyone's going to have a different opinion of what art is worth. So it's always going to be very hard to say to someone, I think this is worth this much, or I think this is worth that much. And that's not just with art. That's also to do with just work in general. There's an argument I had with someone, well, I said an argument. There's a conversation I had with someone a while ago. And I was talking about basically the value of your work. And does the value of your work go down just because someone else is doing it cheaper? And that's a very weird topic to talk about, because at the end of the day, the value of what you do tends to come down to the value of what people are going to do it for. Does that make sense? So basically, if someone said, someone said, value of art is defined by the person that made it, not exactly by how good people... Yeah, but that's also a controversial topic, because You can value your art as £1, but an art gallery consider it's worth 50k, or you can value your work the most priceless thing in the world. You can say it's worth 10 billion, and someone says, well, I only give you £5 for it. It's all subjective because it's not something you need, so it's hard to place a value on it. A Hoover, a fridge, a cupboard, a computer, all these things are much easier to value because, I mean, a lot of companies are going to value them so people still buy them because people need them. Now, you don't need a computer and stuff. I guess you do in this day of age because working from home, applying for jobs using your computer or the internet. But these are all things you need. When it goes into the luxury territory, it's very hard to define how much something can cost because it's all down to what the consumer is willing to pay for it because they don't need it. If you don't need something, a consumer will more likely not buy it. Does that make sense? And that's where it gets a little awkward being able to price things. Now, as going back to saying about work, as a 3D artist, how much is my job worth? Now, this depends where you go in the world. If you're in the UK, if you're in like Germany, from what my friends told me who are German, the pay for a 3D artist is much, much lower. In the UK, it's a little bit higher, but then in the US, it's a lot higher. Now, does that come through supply and demand? Does that come through just because that's a generic pay for it? And that's just what the company decides you're worth. All these things get brought into consideration, but if we're just talking about hiring someone to do one piece of art, so let's say you, QQ, you're like, Steve, I want you to make me the fridge from Simpsons. Now, I'll tell you, oh, one model, let's say it takes me 3 hours. If I charge £10 an hour, that's including texturing, UV mapping, modeling. I know I talk when I'm on stream, so I'll take longer than that. But let's say, oh, okay, QQ, I'll charge you, we'll say £12 an hour, 3 hours, £36. There you go. Now, you can go to somebody else. Oh, Jacob, how much would you charge me to make a fridge? Oh, for me to make a fridge, for him to make a fridge. Oh, give me a tenner for it. Is the job now only worth 10 quid because that's the lowest going price? Is it now worth the average between that? So 36 and 10 quid, the average being £23. Or is it just worth specifically to that like artist and the quality of the product when it's finished? It's all very weird because like the argument I had with someone's because on sites like Fiverr, you can sometimes see people just saying, oh, hire me for £1 an hour. And I remember someone saying to me, well, that's what your job's worth then, Steve. Your job's worth £1 an hour. I made an ArtStation account. I've got 12 projects on ArtStation now. Nice. Good job, man. Like I said, I think ArtStation is way better. It's way more accessible. And it is a site that's supposed to be dedicated for your portfolio. I quite like the website. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, it's meant for that. So, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna recommend it because it's like what it's meant for. And I think it will give you a better chance finding a job. So, Fiverr is still on. I don't even know if Fiverr is still a thing. I'm talking about years ago. Fiverr still a thing? Fiverr is still a thing. Yeah. But to be fair, it wasn't even Fiverr. I was looking at. I can't even remember. It was a freelance site I used to use, but it's completely slipped my memory. But yeah, so at the end of the day, it comes down to what people are going to value things. It actually reminds me of another argument I had with someone, and it was determining if someone was good at something. Now, people like to use the word good, in my opinion, to mean excellent, right? Oh, I'm good at shooting games. And some people, if I was good at shooting games, or if I heard someone say I was good at shooting games, because of how gamers talk about it, I assume they're really good. But I think that's wrong. If you're good at something, I'd say you're better than the average, right? If you're okay at something, I'd say you're probably average. Or if you say I'm average, you're average. But I consider that also okay. If you're bad, you're lower. If you're awful, you're like in the top 10% of people. Or the bottom 10% of people. But if you say you're excellent at something, I expect you to be in the top 20%, top 10%. But in gaming, specifically gaming, or a lot of things as well, but gaming is quite harsh for this. If I said I'm good at Apex, people assume you're really good at it. Anyways, that's not the point of this thing anyway. I'm just sort of giving a definition to what we were talking about. Now, he was talking about. No, I agreed with him at the start and I disagreed with him afterwards because I thought, no, actually. And it was talking about being good at something. And he said you can't determine being good at something to the average person. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. And then about 10, 15 minutes later, is my work any good? I think it works good, Charlie. I'll look at it again in a minute. You did post it in the Discord. I'll have a quick go over it. But yeah, if you're good at something, you should determine it to the average person because I remember he was talking about Rocket League and he was like, if you're good at Rocket League, you know, you're flying in the air, scoring guys, getting aerial hits and everything. And he went, just because even if everyone else was bad, that would still only be considered like the good, something like that. And I went, no, that's not how that works. Being good at something is determined by the average player. If the average player at Rocket League can't even drive their car straight, they can barely touch the ball, then you playing just okay at the game, at least what we'd consider now okay, you playing and actually being able to hit the ball and score, you would be considered amazing. You'd be considered good because the level of being good at something equates to the average person. That's just how the human race works. Running 8 miles per hour. Actually, how fast do you run? Right, let's say running 20 miles per hour is amazing and unheard of. But if the average human being could only run 1 mile per hour, which is obviously way lower than what we can run. But if the average person could only run 1 mile per hour, then if someone ran 2 miles per hour, he'd be considered amazing and really good at running. Like, because he's just doubled the speed of everybody. However, in our situation now, some of the top running speeds is like 15 miles per hour and something. So unless you're running sort of to that level, you know, you're not good. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's all in perspective of what the average is of how good you are at something. So I went on another tangent. But I thought that was really important. And I think it's because I'd say don't put yourself down because you're not, because some people don't consider you're good. If you feel like you're at the average level or above average level, that's good. It's like in shooting games, right? If you have a 1 KDR, kill death ratio, for every time you kill someone, you die, you're technically better than the average player. Because some people accidentally kill themselves in shooting games, meaning the average kill KDA between all players combined is probably like 0.98. So if you had a 1 KD, you're technically slightly better than the average player. And you should feel good about yourself for that. I think it's just really harsh because people expect you to be so good at things. And it can be really, really off-putting for people to actually try to get better when they're constantly told they're not good enough. Because they're being, like, put to way too high of a standard. Now, she always has different things. See, this is the reason I like your streams. You just don't learn about 3D. You also learn so much about life. Thanks, man. I mean, always take what I say with a pinch of salt anyway. At the end of the day, this is just from one guy's perspective. There's, you know, 8 billion people in this world who has an opinion. Just because I say something doesn't mean it's correct. But I'm glad you enjoy my little rants and stuff. And I'm glad, you know, if you find any help in it, makes you feel better, that's amazing. Let me go look at your work. I'm not streaming very long today. So if I never stream long on a Friday anyway. I've been working all day, so I like having that little bit of a relax after work. Playing video games with friends. Doing my thing. What I should have done here was do a quick bevel. Why is it doing that to the corners? Is it something to do with my bevel tool? What have I done? It's turning these corners into a really weird... Ah, there you go. I didn't even remember changing that. It's really awkward. Cool, we got some stuff on the fridge now, looking good. We won't put anything on top right now. Do I want anything? Just me, want it? And it needs one of these. Okay, it's a bit shape. Do I want anything like coming out of here? You know what I mean? Because it's like got all this gap here. Maybe, just maybe, what I should have done was can I bevel this? This would be cool if I can. Nice, I can. Sweet. If I bevel this, I can then pull this part out here. Give me a shape like that. That looks about right. I feel like that's how a fridge works. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like that's how it works. Cool. So now we got this shape for that. And then these shapes for this. Sweet. Oh, that is a fridge. So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to look at Charlie's portfolio. I did get a glimpse of it, but I've been busy lately. I mean, if you guys ever want me to critique anything, just look at your work. If you want someone to just look at your work, I can share it on the stream and try to get people to look at it. I get a couple hundred views after my stream ends usually, so you can get some people to look at your work through me. And at the end of the day, that's what we should be doing. We should be helping each other. I know people get very competitive, and no, don't get me wrong, I've been competitive. But if I can help you guys get some recognition, why wouldn't I? Very little effort I got to put in to do something nice for you guys. You know what I mean? So already, it's just a way better formula than Instagram. You've got everything in my face so quickly that I could just look at it. Now, you can separate things into folders if you really want. I did this because I'm a little bit sporadic with the stuff I work on. So we've got environment, stylish props. Nothing's even there in that image. What's going on here? The folder doesn't have an image in it. Huh? Well, there's supposed to be an image in there. It should probably be the tank, right? But it's not showing up. That's like one of the coolest things I've made. I'm trying to add a few things each weekday if I can. Doing environments one isn't. That's good. Never feel scared though to spend time on things. If you're trying to get quality out there, sometimes that takes time, whether you want to put time in or not. I mean, that's really rich coming from me. I've tried to slow down the last year on doing my art, but I try to be really quick and snappy when I make something. I've said it 100 times. I only usually spend 3 hours on an asset max, and I'm trying to spend more and go a bit slower because you make less mistakes and you get a nicer end result. But equally, if you're making environments and you need to make 100 assets, if it takes 3 hours per asset, and that's fast for most standards anyway, that's 300 hours. If you do 30 hours a week, that's 10 weeks. So it takes you 10 weeks to start and finish a project, not including lighting, setup in the engine and stuff like that. So let's say that gets done in between that time, but that's only 3 hours per asset. So yeah, I mean, if you can spend the extra time on things, do it. Hey, how are you doing today? I'm doing very good, Brittany. Brittany King. I was forget it's King. How are you doing? I'm just chilling at the moment. I'm only around for about 6 more minutes. I always do short streams on Friday. We're making a fridge. Like the Simpsons fridge. I think that's recognizable. I think you can look at that and kind of think, yeah, that's the Simpsons fridge. I kind of feel like I should have made these corners a bit more curved. When looking at some of the image, they didn't look that curved. Oh well. It is what it is. I then just need items on top. I mean, I'm going to look at your portfolio again in a second. Charlie. If we make a duplicate, convert all that stuff to a mesh and combine it, I can then go and place it somewhere in the house. Where's this origin point? From the center? I can't even see it. Oh, it's at the top. Okay. Now, see, that's way too short. Oh, then again, these are way too far over anyway. I'm gonna smush them later. So let's make this roughly how tall it should be. It's just under the height of the door frame, so go something like this. There you go. And now we've got the fridge in here. Very, very good. Grab that. Oops, grab that. Let's put those over for now. Cool. And we've got the fridge. It's a little. Oh, it is a level 2 pushed up against that. There you go. Do that again. There you go. Yeah, that side is actually really short if you look. Look, only very short. So I'll probably have to bring it back a bit more and make the fridge even bigger. And I'm doing all right. Good, good. Always good to hit. Whoa. But the way it all blends together in this viewport. Cavity. Both. There you go. Always looks better. Get some more detailing. Cool. Yeah, that looks like the Simpsons fridge. I think that's an all right job. If you haven't seen what we've put in engine right now, I've just... The other week, I was just getting some assets in here to try to start fleshing out the kitchen. They're all going to be grey box when we start, but we'll start texturing and whatnot later on. Anyways, let's finish up the stream talking about Charlie's work. We've got 3 more minutes. So, I mean, first glance, I think get a better picture than just rocks. My problem with rocks is everybody does rocks. You can find them on Megascan. Hey, Mega Cool Man, what's up? Should I get bigger monsters? Oh, should get bigger monsters? Oh, is that for this? I mean, bigger monsters are always good. Whoa, that poly count's insane. I mean, this wasn't meant for a video game anyway, but... Oh, right, okay. Let's say what you are, 3D artist. Okay, cool. Yeah, first of all, I don't like rocks myself. I put a much better looking background here. In fact, I'll probably just go with one of the arc fizzes, right? Something like this. Wait, what the? Did it not load them? Oh, there you go. Whoa, is it a big image that way? Something like this, I think, makes a better just banner. It's got lighting, it's got props, it's got realism to it. It's just much more interesting to look out for me than just some rocks. Am I missing some comments from Mega Cool Man? All he said was what or UE5. I think these are good. I'd say put these at the front of your portfolio, this one as well, and this one, because they look like the best. They show off your Arcview skills the most. I know you're not only showing off Arcview skills, but I think they're really good. The monsters in the pond. Oh, here. Oh, that's cool. I mean, I think right now your main focus needs to be... so what was this rendered in? Just Blender. It looks cool here, and as we get up here, you lose some of that. Like, honestly, if you cut out this part just looks really good. I know I'm covering the screen with my hand, you can't see that. I think just rendering in this, but yeah, I think bigger monsters would be cool. I think something huge here, just a silhouetted, would be awesome. Oh, the high poly model, what? Yeah, I mean, I guess you could use that in UE5. Where was it? It was in here. Because you could put nanites. Hey, Nabble. Everyone's showing up as I'm about to leave. Yeah, I mean, that could go in UE5 technically. And just nanites it. So the problem is right now, I think he should start focusing on making... Check out the shark. Oh, what, this one? Oh, I don't have a clue. Oh, he's moving. That's cool. I think the biggest part right now is like we were saying last week, like Starbuns Red said last week. When someone lets see portfolio, they're gonna jump on it. Wait, top image. What, in this? Whoops, in this one. Here. That's very cool. They're gonna instantly... They want to see something instant. Because I think she said they spend about, what, 3 minutes on your portfolio. So you want to wow them. So I think there needs to be more focus in implementing all the stuff you've done into like one very cool image or scene. Instead of having them separate like this. Like, I don't think you need a separate area just looking at boots. And if you did have a separate area looking at boots, have it so it's got like 10 different assets in it, like waterwear or something, you know what I mean? So then you can scroll through it and see all that. If I ever share my ArtStation Discord or next stream, maybe. On my Discord, there is an ArtStation section. Just post it in there. Now, am I a critic when it comes to this? Because does my ArtStation have a lot? It does. But even then, I've been doing this since I've been making my ArtStation since I was 18. I'm 27 now, so 9 years. I've only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I've only got 20 separate areas to click on, right? And even then, that isolated out into separate sections. If someone goes, I want to hire Steve because I want to see what you can do stylized. They've got environments, stylized props. Oh, let's see stylized props. Okay. Stylized assets creation, collection. Okay, what's in his collection? Okay. Has he got any stylized environments? Okay, he's got this. He's got this. He's got this. Let's have a quick look at those. It shows I can do composition and camera angles. So, yeah, you know what I mean? It's got to be, like, quick. I get some folders. Yeah, I mean, I think folders in general is going to be a good idea. Especially when you're trying to show off different things overall. It's a high poly count. High poly modeling, yeah. Anyways, that's it for today. We made a fridge. Obviously, I didn't do much, but technically I did an entire model. It's not too complex, but there it is. We got these little pieces of paper on them that you can't really see because the shading. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys either tomorrow or Sunday. Sunday, more people seem to be around, so probably Sunday. But if I'm feeling risky, I'll do both days. So I'll catch you guys then. Bye.